Good afternoon, students. मानसी बाकी सब कहाँ हैं भाई? Okay, okay. Am I audible to you? Mansi, am I audible? What happened? Just two students are there. What's about Taran, Mansi, and Nitin? What happened? Varun, perhaps you were saying something. I couldn't hear that. You were not audible.
They will come, sir.
Speak a bit louder. You're not audible.
Hello.
Yes.
They will come, sir. They messaged in the group.
Okay. Okay. Let's wait for 2 more minutes. Then we'll begin.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Let's start the class. Today we'll discuss lists and if time permitted, then tuples. Otherwise, we'll discuss tuples in the next class. Okay. We had discussed lists earlier also, a little bit about lists. Today we'll discuss in detail about those. First, let me know what's the difference between an array and a list. Anybody? What's the basic difference between an array and a list? Kushpreet? Yes, Nitin? ਬੋਲੋ ਬੋਲੋ
ਸਰ ਐਰੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਾਂ ਸੇਮ ਡਾਟਾ ਟਾਈਪ ਸਟੋਰ ਐਰੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੇਮ ਡਾਟਾ ਟਾਈਪ ਸਟੋਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਲਿਸਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਡਾਟਾ ਟਾਈਪ ਸਟੋਰ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ
very good, very good. That is the basic difference. The other thing is like in array you can store single element, or if it is two-dimensional, that you can store multiple arrays also. But in case of list, since the type of elements may be different, you can store even a list along with numbers, along with strings and everything, right? So let us discuss a few things about this. This is how we declare L is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. Using square brackets, we declare a list. And then let's print it. And if it is printed using square brackets, within square brackets all elements are appearing, then it means these elements belong to a list. Okay. If you want to append, for example, if you want to create a new list by getting input from users, then n is equal to in input, enter number, and then for I in range n, some x will get the value from user, input, enter a number, and then we will store that number in list. L dot append x. For example, now suppose we want to create a list of 5 numbers. These are the numbers, let's say. Right? So the list will be created. I forgot to print it. Print list. Let's run it again. Say 5 numbers are there. We are creating a list of numbers only right now. So this is the list which will be created. Each element of this list is addressable. Like we have been using random numbers, so let's resort to that. So here, instead of getting the number from user, we'll generate it randomly. Rn dot randint 10 to 100, and the number will be generated. Let's see once again. Say 10 numbers. So these are the randomly generated numbers. We can access each element of this list using index also. Like in this print statement, I have written print L, means print whole of the list. We can iterate through the elements for I in L, print I, and with a space. So you can see the difference here. In first print statement, all the elements are printed as a list with comma as a separator and enclosed within square brackets. But when you are iterating through list and printing individual elements, then these elements are printed in isolation. Is it clear? So we can do a little bit of slicing also if you wish. For example, print list, say 2 to 5. So you can see it here. The list has been printed from 2 to 5 elements. Let me print it in a new one. Check it again. So we can do some sort of slicing also. And if you want to remove an element, we can delete elements from a list. There are 2 methods. Like here, after printing the list, let me delete L4, whichever is the 4th element, we'll delete it and then print the list once again. The other method is using remove. In case of this, we will provide the index of the element to be deleted. In the second case, for example, list.remove, we will provide the value which is to be deleted. Now, I don't know which value might be there. So let's try to delete some random value, 63. If it will be there, it will be deleted. Otherwise, it will generate an error message. And after that, we will print list again. Now you can see X is not in the list. It is not in the list, so it has generated a value error. So let's remove this one from here. What we can do, I'll show you one more thing here. Something very important. I have removed it. So here you can see we deleted the 4th element from the list. 4th element is 90. It's been deleted from the list. बच्चे wait for just 1 minute. मेरी क्लास चल रही है यार. ਤੁਸੀਂ half an hour तक आ जाओगे? मैं ਉੱਥੇ 1:30 ਵਜੇ तक ਇੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਹਾਂ. ठीक है. Okay, you can see that the fourth element has been deleted from the list. Now I told you that remove can also be used. Here in the console we can call it L dot remove. Let us remove some elements, say 99 from the list, and then let's print the list. Here it is. Right? Why it is happening? Because when you run a program, the variables are stored in the console memory. So list is already there. So if I write L dot remove, it will be removed from the list, and then I'm printing list. You can see 99 element which was existing there is no more there. We had created a list of 10 numbers. Now there are just 8. You can check it here. You can write here length of list. So it is printing 8. Is this thing clear? Even on the console, you can do these things. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We can concatenate two strings.
Yes, sir.
Let us take up one more example. Let me generate two lists. So this is list number 1. Let us create one more list here. List 2. Create an empty list. Okay. Here you can see that I have used a for loop for populating lists. Through for loop, we are generating elements and then appending those elements to the list. There is another method without using for loop. You can generate n number of elements and store those elements in list. You can generate n number of random elements. For example, here I'm writing rn dot, the function is sample. Give it a range, say 10 to, let me give 100 to 200 this time, and specify how many elements are to be generated. I'm specifying n. So what this function will do, this random dot sample function, it will generate n number of elements lying within this range. So a list will be created. So this is another method of generating the list. Let us print it. So 10 numbers. So we have got two lists here. One is in the range of 10 to 100. Second is in the range of 100 to 200. You can see both the lists. So we can combine these two lists, or we can concatenate these two simply by writing L3 is equal to L1 plus L2, and then print L3. And you can see it here. We have got a new list where list 2 has been concatenated with list 1, and the result is there. Is it clear, bache?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Then we can even reverse the list. Let me reverse list 2. Simply write reverse and then print it L2. Let's see what happens. Here you can see this is the list 2, 180, 150, 199, and so on. The list has been reversed. The values within the list have been reversed here. Is it clear? We can do even repetition. For example, if I write L2 into 2 or 3, then 3 times the list will be printed. I'm giving number 5, means list of 5 numbers only. You can see it here, the list has been generated 3 times. Okay, second list has been generated 3 times. The order may be different, but list is the same. आगे चलें?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if we want to see whether an element is there in the list or not, we can simply write, we call it membership, whether it is there or not. For example, if I write print some value, say 55 in L3. L3 is the list which we had concatenated. So let us see what happens. It is saying false. 55 is not there in the list, and you can see it is not there. Let's try it on console. Print 157 in L3. It is there. You can see 157 is there in the list, so it is printing true. Through this, you can check the membership, whether an element is there in the list or not. Clear? Okay. When we had discussed strings, I had told you that some of the data structures are mutable and some other are immutable. What's about list? Is list mutable or immutable? Yes, Varun. What's about list?
Mutable, sir.
Varun,
Mutable, sir.
Varun, is it
Yes, sir.
mutable or unmutable? Immutable. Varun,
List mutable.
mutable. Okay, fine. So let us check it here. I'm declaring L4 is equal to L3. What do we call this concept? If you remember it, I am assigning L2, L3 to L4. What do we call it? Yes, anybody? Aliasing, right? And then in list 4, I am modifying an element. Say
Yes,
I am modifying fifth element to 9999. Let's see what happens. Print list 4 and print list 3, whether they are the same or not. Let's see. They are the same. It means L4 is an alias of L3. Is it clear? Yes, is it clear? It means simply means L3 and L4, they are the same. If we print the IDs, let us print the IDs of these. Print ID of L3 and then slash T ID of L4. You can see their addresses are the same, means they are the same list. We have just given a new name L4 to the existing list L3, nothing else, nothing new, right? But if you want to create a separate list, then what you can do, I'm writing this code again, L4 is equal to L3 dot copy. In this case, L4 will be a different list. And if we do the same thing once again, and if we do all these things once again, see what will happen. I have written the whole code again. You can see I have modified L4 once again and then printed the value. Let's see here. तो कॉपी के बाद भी सेम ही रहा. Let me try a new one. Let me try L5. There's no difference whether you are assigning directly or creating a copy. They are the same. Okay. So there are different methods which we can apply on the list. Let us discuss those one by one. Let me remove, okay, let me save this code, then I'll write a fresh one, list 01. Let me pick up some code from here. Okay, fine. So there are many functions which we can apply. For example, first is sum. Print L1 dot sum. It will happen only if all the elements of the list are numeric. You can see it here. I forgot to write n is equal to int input enter number of elements in list. Okay, fine. Now let's run it. So let there be 10 elements. this. Yes. So we write it like this: sum list. So it will find out sum of all the elements of the list. Next is index. For example, in this list, if we want index of some particular number, we'll write print L1 dot index of some number. Let's say, let's get it from the user. Some number is equal to int input, enter the number. We'll get the number from the user, and then we will search that number in the list and print its index. Let's try this. Let us say the index of 179. It is returning 5. Means 175 is lying at that particular index. Then append, you have already seen. One more function is there, that is insert. Append will add an element to the end of the list, and insert will insert an element at a particular position. For example, at fourth position, say I want to insert 4444, and then print the list once again. See what happens. Then element to insert 170, and you can see at the fourth position we have inserted 4444. A new number has been added, and now there are 11 elements in the list, right? Then we can extend the list by appending a new list to it. Let me create one more list here. L2 is equal to rn dot sample range, say 100 to 200, and the number of elements are n. Then L1 dot extended with L2, and then print L1. Let there be only 5 elements. 131. Okay. You can see here we have generated 2 lists here. Second list is okay. First one was also okay. Let me change it. 10 to 100 is first list. 100 to 200 is second list. Then let's see what happens here. Enter the element 72. Here you can see the first 6 elements are of the first list. Next 5 are from the second list. And using this function L1.extend L2, we have added list 2 to the end of list 1, and this is the final list 1 with us. Then we can even count the number of occurrences of a particular element. Let me write it there. Print L1.count some number which we had found earlier. We'll find how many instances of that number are there. Suppose we are generating 20 elements, and in this list, say I want to find out how many 25s are there. So it is specifying that, sorry, 20, how many 28s are there. So it is specifying that only 128 is there. Only one. There is only one instance of 28. Through count, we can find out how many times the particular value is existing within the list. Then remove, we had discussed. What is the meaning of pop? Anybody? We had discussed it earlier. What's the meaning of pop? Anybody?
Removing data from the list.
It will remove the last element from the list.
सर काउंट करेगा कि कितने नंबर है उसमें
Pop का पूछ रहा हूँ बच्चे मैं pop. Pop means it will remove the last element from the list. Okay. We can sort the list, we can reverse the list, we can clear a list. Clear means it will remove all the elements from the list. All right. So similarly, if you want to find out the largest and the smallest elements, you will simply write print max from list 1 or print min from list 1. To make it clear, let me write max is, and here let me write min is max. I think you already know we had inserted 4444, so it will tell us that max is 4444. So max is 4444 in this list, and the minimum is 10. And you can check it here. Similarly, you can sort the elements of the list. Now, something interesting. Let me write print L1 dot sort. Let's see what happens. Let there be 10 elements. 16 we want to search. It is printing none. Can anybody tell me what is the reason? We have sorted the list L1. Kushpreet, switch off your camera. Kushpreet, switch off your video. Kushpreet, switch off your video. Okay, anybody, can you tell me why is it printing none? Yes, anybody? Mansi, what can be the reason? Why is it printing none? I have what I have done. I have written print L1 dot sort. Anybody? Any one of you? Why is it printing none? Mansi, Nitin, anybody? Yes.
No idea, sir.
Very good. You should at least respond. No idea. Good. Now look at it very carefully. Look at the editor, what I'm doing here. When I write sort, as you can see here you can see it is returning none. None means it will sort the list itself but will not return any value. So it is not returning any value, so you cannot use it in print function. First you perform the sort operation on it and then print it. Then print L1. Look at the difference now. And you can see here the list has been sorted here. I hope you have understood the difference. List.sort
Yes,
will sort the list itself. It will not return any value. If it is not returning any value, you cannot use it in print or for any other purpose. So what you need to do, you need to sort it in an isolated statement and then use the sorted result L1. So whenever you are using a function, be very careful. The editor, as I told you, is very good at it. It will tell you, you can see it here once again. If I write sort and then the moment I put the first opening bracket, it will tell me the whole syntax of it, what is the value being returned by it. So since it is returning none, you won't be able to directly print its result. So first sort the list and then print it. That is the basic difference.
okay, sir.
Okay, note down an assignment for this. Note down an assignment related to it. Remove duplicate elements from the list. Remove duplicate elements from the list. Okay. The second is I'm giving you two assignments.
सर फर्स्ट वाली रिमूव वाली पहले हो गई हमारी असाइनमेंट में.
लास्ट असाइनमेंट में हो चुकी.
हाँ जी.
No problem.
Yes,
हाँ
sir.
जी सर.
Oh, I skipped from my mind. Generate a list of unique n numbers using random number generator. What you have to do, you have to ensure कि random number जो generate हो रहे हैं वो uniquely generate हो रहे हैं या unique numbers ही सिर्फ list में add हो रहे हैं बाकी नहीं. Okay, so generate a list of unique n numbers using random number generator. Clear है?
Yes, sir.
Okay. if it stopped after 40 minutes, we won't continue. The class will end there itself. And I'll try to have another class at 3. I'll convey you. If there's no meeting, then we'll have a class at 3 again.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay,
Then
sir.
there is something very interesting. Uh, Perhaps I have given you this assignment as well. If not, then you can make a new assignment on it. Let me just save it. List 02. Let me pick up some code from here itself. Okay. Let's create a new program now. So what I'm going to do, I'm creating two lists. Here. I have created two lists here, right? And let the range be the same, 10 to 100, 10 to 100. Now what we'll do, we'll find out different things from it. I am using sets, okay? Let me first print the list, print L1, L2. After that, S1 is equal to set list1. List, we have converted list to a set. S2 is equal to set L2. Then I'm generating a new list out of it. List 3 is equal to list S1 dot intersection. What will it do? Anybody? Any idea what will it do? What is set?
जो much जो भी common होएगा वो print होएगा
Very
intersection.
good. It right. It will print all the common elements of the list. Similarly, list 4 is equal to list S1 dot union. What will it do?
दोनों केस हो जाएंगे,
दोनों
मतलब सारे एलिमेंट्स हो जाएंगे.
अगर कुछ रेपिटेशन हुई वो भी आएंगी या नहीं? डुप्लीकेट्स आएंगे?
नो सर.
श्योर?
यस सर.
And finally, we have set difference. L5. I hope it's clear. Yes. Let's try this now. So there are 10 elements. You can see here we have generated two lists. In these two lists, nothing is common, so intersection is null, right? When you perform union, both the lists will be concatenated, and if there are any duplicate elements, those will be removed. क्योंकि कोई भी intersection नहीं हुआ means duplicate element कोई भी नहीं है, nothing has been removed. कोई भी element common नहीं है, so S1 minus S2 का result क्या आएगा? S1 ही आएगा. Okay, let's try it again. Let me generate 20 elements this time. Intersection is there. You can see here, 4 elements are there which are common, right? So union, how many elements are there in union? Let us find out. Length of L4. Length of L4 is 36. It means जो duplicate elements थे वो remove हो गए. Is it clear? Otherwise 40
Yes,
होनी
sir.
चाहिए.
Yes, sir.
4 निकल गए intersection में, so we are left with 36, right? Similarly, difference का result क्या आएगा? Difference का result कितना आएगा? 16. 4 common थे ना? 20 में से 4 common निकल गए, so we are left with 16. This is how it works. Now,
Okay,
list,
sir.
as we had discussed earlier, lists can contain different types of data also. We can have a list within a list, we can have an array within a list, we can have any other data type within a list. That's not a problem, right? I'm not taking up those examples. Now, a very important topic is, इसको भी save कर लेते हैं. Next topic is list comprehensions. List comprehensions means you are creating a list. Instead of writing any complex code, you are writing very little amount of code, most probably single statement that will help in generating a list. Let me create a new program for this. For example, if I want to create a list of square values, right? What I can do for I in range 1 to 11, let it be square dot append I into I. When I print it SQ, let's see what happens. So it has generated a list of square numbers from 1 to 10. We can do the same thing using a single statement. Let's see how to do it. SQ is equal to x raised to the power 2 for x in range 1 to 11. So let me write SQ1 this time. Print SQ1 will get the same effect. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Similarly, suppose you want to generate a list of square numbers of even numbers only. So what we'll do? Square even is equal to x raised to the power 2 for x in range 1 to 11. With this, we will append a condition. If x modulus 2 is equal to 0, only then perform it. So print SQE. What will it do? It will print the list of squares of even numbers only. Is it clear, bache?
Yes, sir.
One more alternative can be there. One more alternative is for this is there. You can see. Let me write it SQE1 for x in range 2 to 11 with increments of 2. Even this condition is not required. And then print SQE1. Again, we have got the same result. So what are all these statements? These are list comprehensions, means a single statement which is used to generate a list. Is this thing clear, bache?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now suppose we have two lists and we want to combine those two lists. Not only combine, we want to add contents of each element of one list to each element of other list. Let me write L1 is equal to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 4 is sufficient. Then L2 is equal to 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay. So what I want to do, I want to add every element of list 1 to every other element of list 2. For I in L1, for J in L2, we can have a third list, let it be L3, empty list, L3 dot append L1, I plus J, and then print L3. See what happens. So you can see it here. A new list has been created that contains the result of adding every element of list 1 to every element of list 2. Now this thing also can be achieved using a single statement. For example, if I write here, instead of writing so many loops or two loops, I can simply write